And now, the Big D and Papa Weekly Podcast.
Oh, what's it going to be this week? Who knows?
Kind of feels Viking-y. Little pirate theme.
Big D and Bubba, they have a show 5 days a week, but they don't get to say everything that's on their mind, so they have an extra one. And that's how we get the podcast, the podcast, the podcast. The Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
You can tell it was one of the early ones that was generated.
Yeah, it's a little computery sounding.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
got that little wah wah and it walk.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's not bad though.
Morgan Whalen.
We're going to throw that in for a gold just for fun.
Back to, do you think that he did that on purpose?
No. He did not. Jeff Bridges,
you don't think
back during the CMAs last year?
Last year. It was a big deal because Morgan was there, and you're here in town, and you're at an awards thing.
He should have
country
known.
music. Morgan Wallen?
We're going to dive into everything we're about to do, but yeah, he should have known by just reading it. Basic sentence structure and the way things are in pronunciation. You've got a vowel followed by two consonants. It's an ah, not an A.
I'm saying even if that wasn't the case, you should know his name is not Whalen.
Yeah, if you're a host on the show, or
Morgan Whalen.
If you get off the airport, they say "Welcome to Nashville." It's Morgan Wallen.
yeah.
Do we think he was sober?
Well, he kind of sounds that way.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of him.
I
just
love
Lebowski.
him. He's the
mainly.
dude.
That's
All right, for those of you, who don't know, that is Jeff Bridges, Lebowski, the whole thing. He did a thing at the CMA Awards.
Morgan Wallen.
And now moving on to what we have going on here for the podcast this week. Richard Casper from Creative Vets is in the studio. Welcome back, Richard!
Thanks for having me back.
Get your own woo woo.
We've had you on the show several times. I just love the organization. I love that, it started off, wasn't it just one singer and one song in the very beginning?
When you had me on the very first time, it was, I think, 2014, we'd probably only written 9 songs, and it was one veteran at a time, and I was still an independent contractor, not getting paid for my own work doing Creative Vets, and so we were in the infancy, and I probably maybe knew 15 songwriters at the time.
Wow.
We've grown.
For those who don't even know what you guys do, give us the 2-sentence thing.
Yeah, I mean, our whole mission is to empower wounded veterans to heal through arts and music. And in Nashville specifically, they don't know a lot about the stuff that we do. We ran programs this year. We supported 1,200 veterans, 17 states, including Puerto Rico, through our art, music, astrophotography, and film screenplay writing program. But when I first came on, it was the nuts and bolts was, I think that we can use art and music to save veterans' lives, but most veterans aren't going to turn to art and music as a healing tool because it was never really used before. And so the mission was we're going to fly them from anywhere in the country, pay for their flight, food, housing to Nashville, and we're going to write with #1 writers. At the time, it was just in houses, but now we write backstage at the Grand Ole Opry where nobody else gets to write.
Oh, that's cool. A special. Yeah.
A little kicker because, for one, it helps the songwriters they may have a #1, but they've never been to the Opry, so they get to write in the dressing rooms. But it was really because Vietnam veterans are such a high rate of suicide. Then I was, how do I get Vietnam veterans to a program if they don't want to come through a program? And if you look at the suicide numbers just across the board, 80% of the veterans don't actually seek help, or they hadn't in the last 2 years. But if I'm saying, hey, I'll pay for your flight, food, housing, you get to write backstage at the Grand Ole Opry with an artist or a hit writer, then it changes things, and they come out here.
Yeah, and because you're at the Opry, you never know who you're going to see. Sometimes people pop in, and they do, you'll sometimes get a guest tour by so-and-so. They might be an artist that you love. And, yeah, the chances of running into people at the Grand Ole Opry are always very high.
You can see the set of Hee Haw.
Yeah. One of the veterans, he actually had terminal cancer, and so he knew he was going to pass away, and we wrote a song called I'm Gonna Go, which is just like, it's for his sons. But before the writing session even happened, he just walked down the hallway and he said, well, this was a bucket list item right here. And I was like, wow. Not even just he hadn't even been through the program yet, but it was that moment that kind of changed his life walking through those doors. So we try to set up every program like that. Our art program's similar. It's in Chicago at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. We're paying for tuition, housing, food. It's the best art school in the country. For our screenplay writing program, we have actors like D.B. Sweeney, and even Charles Eston is getting in on this next one we're doing. But we do where veterans do screenplays with Hollywood screenplay writers about their life, as if you would with the song, and they teach them how to turn this one trauma point into a play. And then we fly the veterans out, and at TPAC, we have real actors like D.B. Sweeney, Grayson Russell, the little redheaded kid from Talladega Nights and Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
I met him at
He's phenomenal.
Opry, actually.
And these are the actors acting out the veteran story in front of them. And it completely changed their lives to be able to pull out and look at every scenario. Like when I was in Iraq, my buddy was killed beside me, and that was so much trauma, and I blamed a lot of me. But if you rewrite that as a screenplay, now I have to play the role of my driver. I have to play the role of I have to look at it from a different lens rather than like a narrow lens. And there's something so
really
cathartic and healing about that. And then when you have actors acting it out, this is where you could repurpose a memory. This is where you're looking at the biggest trauma you've ever seen, but you see Grayson Russell or Charles Eston playing your role, and you're so excited that the next time you recall that incident, the trauma incident, you remember the last time it came up, which was now at that place. So it's a happy memory rather than a sad one, and you can replace it.
Have you ever had any like, I don't know, like research on what you guys do and the results? Like, has there been like, is that like, like
Like
stats?
as far as the impact?
Yeah, like
we
you can
do
prove
that
it?
for the longest time. Until this is something that really made me mad for a while, because when a donor would come over, someone and say, "Do you have proof?" I'm like, well, I could call at least 10 veterans right now who will say, I was going to kill myself and now I didn't.
Yeah.
But I really leaned in. I was a part of George W. Bush's first ever Veterans Stand To leadership program. And it's where they brought in 33 leaders from around the country focusing on veterans issues to Dallas and a bunch of things. And they just kept pushing studies. Like, you're going to get more money if you do these studies. And so we went down that rabbit hole. And I mean, we conformed to kind of what they were trying to do. And we did. We proved all the stuff was working. The issue is sometimes we have a veteran. If we go back to that 80% not seeking help, one of those friction points is they apply for a program and they ask you 20 questions. And they're saying like, hey, are you broken? Are you doing this? And they kind of come. Yeah. I have a story around that. We partner with the National Ability Center in Park City, Utah. We do a program out there. We fly out riders and all these veterans. One of the veterans actually backed out last minute, and we called him. We're like, hey, man, why'd you back out of this trip? He's like, well, they sent me a little questionnaire that just I didn't want to do anymore. And we said, don't do it. Just come out. Because our thing is we just want you here. And so, yeah, we do have studies that show how impactful it is now. And we have like net promoter scores and like how their mood and all that stuff is lifted and how we've helped them get a job for the first time. But it goes down, for me, it's always the nuts and bolts, the guy or girl who said, oh, no, the day you called me, I was writing my suicide letter. And now I'm alive.
My gosh. Wow.
And that's happened to you on more than one occasion, if I'm not mistaken, because I remember the first time it happened that we had talked about years ago, it was a one and done thing. But apparently that happens often. Like, it's so weird, whenever you look at the synergy of all that or the synchronicity of the timing that you're brought into people's lives for a reason at a certain time. I absolutely believe that. And it's such a great program for putting you and your people together with them and their lives.
And you have to go to them. And so we had another program where when I suffered the most when I came home before songwriting was in my life, I would still go to Country Thunder. Even though I had to do one-on-one speeches with my speech teacher. I couldn't go to job interviews because my anxieties were so bad. I still found myself at these festivals. So, rewind or fast forward a few years, and now with Creative Vets, I tell my team, I say, hey, I want to go to festivals. I want to have Creative Vets at festivals where we find veterans like me who were searching for something but couldn't find it. And so we partnered with Tailgates and Tall Boys, and they gave us some free spaces up in Clinton, Iowa, and then Bloomington, Illinois. And 2 years ago was the first time we ever did this. We rented a random RV. They gave us the land for free. We plopped it down. We had a veteran songwriting experience sign. And my team, my songwriter, Jesse Wayne Taylor, he was like, hey, you're spending a lot of money to go out there. Should we pre-get veterans? I said, no. I was like, I don't care if we don't get one veteran. The idea is that veterans that usually are seeking the most help don't need it as much as the veterans who don't want the help. So I want clean slate, go out there and just try to find someone who needs it.
Yeah.
And the very first veteran, James, came up with his wife, biker dude, mohawk, sleeveless shirts, with his wife, like, what's this? They're like, hey, we brought some Nashville songwriters. We'd love to tell your story if you're up for it. And he's like, I don't know about this. His wife's like, come on, just do it. And he's like, okay, whatever. And so him and his wife go on the RV. They write a song. They come off. It's like 3 hours later. cloud nine, like normal, like they're super excited, but then they go off. Well, 2 weeks later, we're in Bloomington, Illinois now at that tailgate in Tall Boys. And all of a sudden, James comes, he shows up in a Creative Ed shirt with his lyrics like on actually etched into it or stitched into it. And he said, "Hey guys, I just got to tell you this. The only reason I bought a ticket to that tailgate in Tall Boys was so that I can give my wife one last good memory before I kill myself. I wanted that last moment to be the happiest that she's seen at this festival, but I saw a sign, and it was a literal sign, Creative Ed. And so I promised you guys I'm going to be a better father. I'm going to stop drinking." Well, 6 months later, he spoke at our gala, still sober, and now he runs that program for us, still sober.
Wow.
And so it's moments like
Dude,
that.
that's like serious goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your proof. You don't need
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just talk to James. He'll tell you all about it.
It is, and now he does for us, which is insane. This guy who's never told his story before, and now he's doing it for us. We have so many stories like that, and that's why we keep doing it. We push the limits on innovation through music. We're actually building a prescription music platform now, so we could prescribe music to veterans who don't want to open up. So if I came across the table and all you did was type in, Marine, faith-based, TBI, suicidal ideations, it would populate a song written by one of our veterans that has that content in there. So now you can listen to it. That sounds like me. Well, what part?
Wow.
And so
Is
you
it
can
gonna
get
be like a drop down or something where do you have to type it, or are you going to have
so the
options there?
clinician would actually have it in front of them. So when they're hearing some of the story, they type in these little features or these little things that they're catching, even down to like tattoos, because they want to find something relatable. And then it populates. Every time you type in something new, the list of songs goes down. So it's like suicidal ideation and then inspirational or whatever, and it goes down. So then you have the lyrics and you play it for them. Then we have an app that they download, and now you see everything they're listening to. So it's like, even if they didn't tell you they had a kid, but all they're doing is listening to these songs written by veterans to their kids, all of a sudden that's something you're going to talk about the next time. So we're still beta testing it, but we have it. It's live for us.
That's pretty sweet.
It's so awesome to see the differences and the change that you guys have made. I mean, because again, you kind of got into it to help yourself.
Yeah.
And now look at what you've done.
Yeah, I tell people a lot of times, I was like, I'm a Marine. I didn't like other Marines. I didn't really like other veterans. I was very broken, and art and music was a very selfish path for me because it saved my life. And then all of a sudden, after I graduated from that school and I was back to normal almost, you can never get, when I tell my big stories, when I do my keynotes, it's if 0 was killing myself and 100 was me before war, I was at a 9 when I discovered art and music, and it was my faith that kept me at a 9. But after the school and writing music, I was at an 85. And then after I started helping other veterans, I was at a 95.
Yeah.
And I'm cool. I'll never get the other 5% back because of the trauma, but a 95 Richard is a pretty awesome Richard, so I'll keep that. And I forget, my brain injury just kicked in. I forgot how I started that conversation. But it's good for you guys to know that.
That's what I love. You're like, hey, I have a brain injury, so there's that.
It's the best excuse
It
ever.
is. It
I
is.
mean, you can use that anytime, anywhere. It's awesome, and nobody can ever get mad at you.
I know, right?
Hey, what's this event happening October 12th?
Ooh, October 12th. It's our first ever, and you probably couldn't tell by this sweet bod of mine, but I'm a bowler. I got that bowling body.
Yeah, you can.
So October 12th, we're doing our first ever bowling tournament. Our golf tournament has been awesome. We're going in our 6th year, I think, in April, and we've had Vince Gill, Aaron Lewis, Sam Hunt, Jelly Roll, Brantley Gilbert, all these people come out to that. So I was like, let's try a bowling tournament. I haven't got as many responses, but Vince Gill is going to come out and bowl. He told me he had an old bowling ball in his attic. He's going to come out, but October 12th, starting around noon, if you go to creativevets.org, there's a little bowling tab. You can click on that. There's 52 lanes. It's a 24-hour bowling center. So it's going to be a Sunday around noon.
In Nashville.
So it's in Smyrna.
Smyrna.
So just a few minutes away, but not too bad. But it's a PBA lanes, and that's why we wanted to choose it. And they're just so good to us. And so we're bringing out some. We have, who else is coming? Dylan Brady, Kelsey Kulik. There's some writers, Brian Davis, who wrote One Hell of an Amen. And so a lot of writers, some artists, some actors like D.B. Sweeney, and some little skinnies coming out. So we have some good people. But then it's just a way for us to have 2 hours while people are, and it's a 9-pin tournament. If you don't know what 9-pin is, it means when you throw that ball down the lane and there's only 9 there, it counts as a strike. So it's a little bit easier.
How many pins are there normally?
10. 10 pins for a
Is it
strike.
set up the same way, like the triangle?
So set up same way. So, but
even if
just,
you leave one standing, it's still a strike.
yeah, that's how they make it
Oh.
super fun for everybody. I
Wow.
was on a beer league with Brian Davis where he's like, the only reason I bowl is because it's 9-pin. It makes me feel good. So now you're getting like 200s, 250s, even though you don't know how to bowl very well. So
I'm not a fan of that, Richard. Honestly, I don't like that.
Everybody gets a trophy.
I mean, I'm a scratch bowler, but
It was very everyone gets a trophy.
Whatever.
Well, I don't keep score when I play golf, so I get it.
but whatever gets people in the door. But this is cool because for 2 hours we're able to actually educate people on what Creativist does while they're bowling. And we also have for kids, there's a little arcade there, and they could bowl too. Because like golf tournaments, the artists can't bring kids and they can't bring their family. But here you can, and so we have the whole place rented out, Smyrna lanes for from like 12 to 4. But it'll just be we're bowling 3 games, we're raising money for Creativists, talking about what we're doing, and you get to see some celebrities.
I love that you have different prizes for different things. Top team, obviously, highest individual score, yeah, most strikes, yeah. But best team name is great. I mean, that's like. I play fantasy football and all that kind of stuff, and I also still play like league softball. There's so many great pun names, and I've never thought about pun bowling names. That's a whole new
Like Spare
realm.
No One. There's so many good
Spare
ones.
No One. Oh, that's pretty great.
Lucky Strikes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can win a ball. You can win cash and a ball, guys.
Yeah. We'll have signed guitars and other things. We're actually still getting things in, but we'll have signed guitars, all the things.
I'm
Door
looking right now.
prizes.
Creative Vets. If you want to look on the website, it's CREATIVE, like creative, and then just add a TS at the end. Creative Vets. And you can check it out there, .org, and click on the little thing up top that says bowling.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. It's the first time we want it to be really big impact.
Do you have your own bowling ball?
Oh, I sure do.
You do?
I was third in state in Illinois. I have multiple bowling balls. Can I educate you on bowling balls? It's
I thought you were joking. Like
at
you're
one
like a
time-
legit or a bowler.
Yeah, I haven't. I bowled through high school. My town's too small to have a team, so I went like 40 minutes just to bowl. And then when I went to the Marine Corps, I didn't get a bowl again for probably like 6, 7, 8 years. And when I was in Virginia Beach, I was on a league, averaged 218, not 9-pin, a normal league.
Yeah.
And then I came home, and when I met my now wife, I had 9 bowling balls in the closet. And she was like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Hey, it's like golf. You don't have one club."
So when you get your first bowling ball, like what made you go, I need a different one?
So the oil pattern is different for most lanes, and when there's more oil, you need a different type of ball. So all balls are kind of set up. You just can't see it. Like you could see a golf club, how one's a driver and one's a putter.
Yeah.
In the bowling world, the plastic ball is the putter, and the driver could be like a composite shell thing, but they look exactly the same. So you have to be educated on what it is. So if I throw a ball and it hooks too much on my practice, I go to a lower level ball and bring it out. And so it's so I could throw the same exact weight.
Different?
No,
is that more
you'd
important, or is it more you keep the same weight?
Keep same weight for you. And same thing with if I'm hitting a 10 pin, like say I'm going to throw a strike with my normal strike ball, throw it down the lanes, I leave the 10 pin, which is the far right. Well, I'm going to get my plastic ball and I'm going to throw it the exact same way, but it doesn't hook. It's not meant to hook. Some have asymmetrical cores in there, so it goes down the lane farther and
Okay,
hooks
let me
later.
ask you a question now. So last time I went bowling, I know, I'm very, okay. So they have the 3 holes for your fingers, but the guys next to me are just palming the ball.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just, do you do that? Or do
No,
you,
no.
Okay.
When you get your first ball, they actually drill it so it fits your hand. That's
Right.
the issue with house balls is they're only like 3 inches apart.
Yeah.
And so when you go, you can't actually do the hook. Everyone's like, why can't I get this hook? So they just pop their thumb out so they can get that hook.
Man, that's why it hurts my
When you
elbow.
get it drilled, it automatically comes to where you can actually throw and get a hook. They call it shaking hands with a head pin. So when you come up and you shake that hand,
we know.
it starts that little curve.
We
Okay,
know
but
it's
also,
called.
why would these guys then who are palming the ball, because obviously the finger holes are not working for them, if they are that hardcore, why didn't they have their own balls?
Well, they should have their own
right? Like I
balls.
feel like
they're
you,
just playing around
like
at that
you
time.
would have shown up and be like, really?
Yeah, watch
Really?
this.
You would have.
What's your favorite bowling movie?
Oh my gosh, Kingpin.
I was
there's
almost in that movie.
no way.
I was working in Reno at the time, and they were filming the movie. And because I remember, I was so excited because Vanessa Angel was in that movie, and she was in
Smoke Show.
She was
Weird
in
Science, the
Weird
TV
Science,
show.
and I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's the girl from Weird Science." So
Vanessa
I got
what? Angel?
Angel.
Yeah, Vanessa Angel. I was so excited because I was like, I'll do it if I was working at the radio station, so they were looking for extras, and I said I'd love to do it. They reached out to us to get the word out. And I was like, I would love to do it if I get to be in a scene with her. And they were like, yes, blah, blah, blah. I ended up leaving that job before they filmed it. And so I moved across the country, and I missed out on my chance. I think she would have fallen for me. Just saying.
I just pulled her up. Yeah,
Yeah, Kingpin was awesome. Big Lebowski is one of the most quotable, I think, but Kingpin's like when it's bowling.
Can I interest you in Grease 2?
Grease 2, never seen it.
Bowling movie?
There is a whole bowling scene. There is a song, Let's Bowl. And that's actually how Stephanie and Michael have their first kiss.
Ooh,
so,
I'm going to watch that.
Michelle Pfeiffer. It is peak, like 22-year-old Michelle Pfeiffer. If nothing else will get you to watch it. But there is a bowling scene.
Let's
I love
bowl.
educating on bowling.
The song is called Let's
It is literally,
Bowl.
yes, let's bowl, let's bowl, let's
Let
rock
us
and
bowl.
roll.
Let us bowl.
Take your fingers in the hole.
There it is.
I'm looking at your. I'm looking on the website. You guys did an acting class with Michael Broderick, like Ferris Bueller.
No, that's Matthew Broderick.
Oh,
Michael.
I was like, wait a minute, you had Ferris Bueller teaching people
But-
to act. Who is Michael Broderick?
He is just as awesome. He is a veteran too. He's a Marine veteran, but he has been in like 20 film and television shows. He lives in Nashville. He came in and was like, "Hey, I'm a Marine." And Michael Broderick, I was like, "Wait, I think I know you." I did the same exact thing though.
Oh.
I was like, "But you don't look like the guy. Are you related?"
Did
He's
you
not
get feeling
related.
better?
Inspector Gadget.
But he is phenomenal human. Well, funny story is Michael Broderick and DB Sweeney. DB Sweeney's been in a ton of films.
Yeah,
There's
especially from that era.
and there's a 1992 film that you'll know.
Oh, I know. Trust me. I
That
know
he-
who
the
DB
Ice
Sweeney
Cube,
is.
yeah.
Cutting Edge. Are you kidding me?
Cutting Edge. That's the one that
Yep,
yep,
'cause
everyone
it's
knows.
The best.
Well,
The
DB
best.
came in probably 2 days. Michael just ran in, like on our 12th Avenue, we have a little office. And Michael came in, told us who he was. I said, I want to do acting classes. So he did it. DB came in 2 days later and just said, I saw your sign and wanted to come in, see what you're doing. I do screenplay writing. And that's when we talked. I said, hey, here's my story for the Scars to Scripts thing that I just talked about earlier. And he's like, oh, I'll help you do that. 2 months later, we ran our first show at TPAC. It was awesome. I like to get things done. But it was really cool, the people we get to interact with now. With Creative Vets, because we do arts, music, everything all around the country, we get, I mean, it's just so cool. The football players, the actors, like Steve Mariucci, NFL legend, is an advisor on our board because his son, Stephen Ray, plays music in Nashville. And he brought him in and told him about what we do. And so we get to touch so many different things, work with some of the coolest people in the world, and save lives. So it's, I love it every single day.
I'll tell you, you need to get Garrett involved too. Garrett's a fantastic artist.
thank
And what?
I said, well, thank you, Bob.
Well, you are. I've seen him work with all kinds of media. Like he made a snowman, right? You think, oh, snowman, the way we make them. No, it looks like a human being all ripped up with muscles. I swear there are veins in its arms. I'm like, who makes a snowman like that?
Well, we would love to have you. We have, anytime someone's interested and they're not sure what to do, especially if they're an artist, we just did stained glass. We just purchased this church. The whole story behind how we got this church is absolutely insane. Anyways,
You can't tell most of it right now, right?
No, well, I can tell how we got it. I just can't talk about a certain part of it. But it's a 19,000 square foot church, been abandoned since 2017 on Charlotte, and it's right off Charlotte and Briley. So you could see it from the interstate. A million cars pass by this every year, sitting on 2.5 acres. And since 2018, I was like, that's gonna be my church. Like I'm gonna build a 24-hour art and music center for veterans back there. That's gonna be our thing. Because the issue is, when I used to struggle, it'd be like 1 a.m. in the morning, and I'd just start crying for no reason, and I'd call my battle buddy, and thank God he actually answered, and he'd talk me off the ledge sometimes. And so I said, well, and I didn't drink, but I thought of all my friends who then would just go drink and demolish something or just ruin their life. I said, well, why isn't there a place for them to be creative? So that was the whole idea, was a 24-hour art and music center. So they get in a fight or something happens, they can go there, beat up some clay or write a song or do something to get it out. And I've wanted this since 2018, and I've never had the money. 2018, we raised like $300,000 as an organization. This is a $4 million property. Like, we're not gonna be able to get this, but I always dream big. And then last year, we had our biggest year ever serving the 1,200 veterans. And I told the board, I want to own in Nashville and build this place out. We don't have really the money to get this church that I really want. And I've reached out, like the people who owned it, they won't get back to me. The council member loves the idea, but he won't, like, we can't do anything. So I'm going to look for space. And they said, okay. Well, that was a Saturday. Well, on Tuesday, there's a for sale sign on the church. And so
Out of nowhere, it
I
pops up.
freaked out. And I was with my son. He's 5 years old. We turn, I see the sign, but I missed the number. So I whip around. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I got to get this number. And I call the guy, talk to him about what we're trying to do. And he says, well, it's on contract right now, but if it comes off contract, I'll let you know because the builders can't build what they want here. There's an ingress egress problem, so they can't build the hotels they want. All they want to do is tear down this church. That's the whole thing they're holding it for. And so I said, okay, let me know. I was like, honestly, I probably don't have the money, but still let me know. And Friday rolls around and he texts me. He said, the church it's in your court. And I'm just kind of freaking out because now I have to actually try.
Yeah.
Part of me was like, oh, I have an opportunity, but now I have to try.
And it's something you had your eyes on for years, specific place.
Every time I always say something, it sounds cliche when they're like, just say what you want to do and it's going to happen. That's all I do is say I want something. And I just go deep into saying I want something to the point where I'm calling council members and stuff. And so it just happened. It was in my lap. I didn't have the money for it. Well, that next day, you're going to have so many questions after this. The next day I was going to Vince Gill's house to get my chiropractor treatment on. So it's that's a side quest. And so going over to Vince and Amy's house to get adjusted by a guy named Rusty Cross, who is Vince's chiropractor. He's the best person ever. If the VA
that is a great name.
I know, right?
It's like a rock and roll
good old
name.
boy from
That's a preacher name.
Good old boy from Chattanooga, and legitimately pulls miracles. It's insane. So I was going over to be seen by him, and the person who was supposed to show me the building was saying, hey, I can only meet you at 4. So I'm at Vince and Amy's at 1:45-ish. And the moment I walk through the door, I just go say hey to Vince. I sit down waiting for my turn, and I get a text from the guy saying, can you meet actually in like 10 minutes? So I say, oh, crap. Okay, I guess I will. So I just started leaving, and the door jammed. It was the first time it jammed on me. And Vince was like, where are you going? You didn't even get adjusted. I was like, I know. There's this church. And I know that church. My daughter lives over in that area. Then Amy comes around the corner getting a guitar to play this show that night. And she's like, oh, Richard, what are you doing? I told her the same thing. And I said, listen, I need to raise a minimum of $2.5 million in the next 2 months to acquire this property. I'm not going to bankrupt Creative Vets over a property, but I need at least $2.5 million to do this. And we didn't even touch that last year, the whole year. I don't think I could do this, but I really want it. She said, well, there's a reason you're here today. We're going to help you raise that money. Just go for it.
Oh.
So I'm like, well, if she tells you, you might as well just do it. And so I go see it.
So now you're swaggering.
And now I'm going
walking
back
in.
like, I got Amy and Jesus on my side. She's the closest person I know to Jesus. So yeah, we're going to do this. And I go and I see the place and it's just built. I mean, it's run down. No electricity, no HVAC. Like people pulled everything out of it, but the bones were so good. And I see creative it's in there. So I say, okay, I'm going to put under contract. For us, it was nothing, though. I just had to put $25,000 down that I would get back in 2 months if I decided I didn't want it. So I did that. Again, I was kind of on cloud 9 that Amy said that. So I'm like, the money's coming, the money's coming. And then 2 months into it, we had like $250,000 raised for it. And so I had to let it go. And I was so frustrated because God showed up so many times in that the presence of me trying to get it, like with Amy and Vince and all these different things. And Amy literally told me after that the reason she said yes so quick to it was because a week prior to me showing up to her door, she went and actually verbally prayed in the parking lot of that church saying, I don't know what's coming here, but I want to be a part of it.
And now, she didn't know that you were looking
No.
at it.
And so a week later, I showed up and said,
of course.
there's this
right.
church that I want.
Uh-huh.
And but 2 months went by, we didn't get it. And I told Amy, I said, I'm still going to shoot for this church if I can get it. I just don't know if we can get it now. And so roll around January, I get a call saying, hey, they decided they're going to tear down the building because they can't find anybody to develop it. They'll give you another shot, though. I was like, well, I need more than 2 months. I made a lot of good headway on that, but I need more than 2 months. And then they said, okay, well, you can get 3 months this time and then put $50,000 down. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll put it down because, again, I get it back. I wasn't worried as much about getting it back.
Right.
So I go 3 whole months, and we're up to $500,000. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. I felt like this is supposed to be ours. Maybe I'm holding it for someone. Maybe that's what my whole role here was. Just hold the church till someone else can come find it. And they said, well, there's a clause in there if you extend 30 more days that you can do that, but you're going to eat the $50,000. They're going to keep that. And that's something.
Now there's risk.
That's where I was like, I don't know. That's like 3 whole groups, 30 veterans coming to Nashville, writing backstage. The lives that could be changed with that was really weighing on my heart. But also, every moment that led to that point was telling me that you could do this. But my brain was saying, no, you just tried 6 months and you raised 500. How are you going to close the gap with another 2 million? And so I just said, you know what? I feel like we came this far, might as well do it. And I signed the papers. Well, a week later, we got $1 million from a donor. We've never received over 150,000. And then 2 more weeks later, I met with 2 individuals at the same room. They both gave $1 million each, and we got our church. It was insane. And so we're still fundraising for it. That was just to purchase it.
Yeah.
Now we got to do
gotta
everything else. But
renovate.
imagine going up against that and just saying, I'll try, and then being delivered 3 $1 million donors after never receiving a gift more than 150,000. It was absolutely incredible.
Wow, what the faith that took.
It was hard. It legit. Everyone was calling me crazy. My board too. They believe in me, but they didn't believe in me that much. I didn't. There were so many times I didn't believe in me that much.
That was a $50,000 gamble. I mean, that was, like you said, that was people.
Yeah.
You took a gamble on, you said, I am willing to risk this. I'm willing to risk not being able to help X number of guys or ladies or anybody, individuals, but because I believe so much in this and because you were moved that way. I mean, think about it. That seed was planted years ago, and it took all kinds of silliness in between for it to actually happen.
Yeah, it was a hard, legit. If you ever go to an event where we're set up, you'll see all these other nonprofits that have fidget spinners and water bottles and, teach their own. You'll come to ours, and it's just the information we have. We never overspend on anything. My team hates it because they're like, hey, what if we got this? I was like, we could probably get it for free because every dollar we're trying to get to go towards veterans. So anytime we can cut costs. And so that's why that was the biggest risk for me.
So I'll tell you, Big D, this is where Richard and I started talking about it. One day I get on Instagram and somebody had broken a window in the church right after you purchased it, right?
That's where I was going with one of those stories. I was so mad. I was in D.C. for an event. We were riding with the Marines and Eighth and I just so happened Pete Hegseth was the speaker that day he was the honorary guest. And so I'm in a clubhouse, arm's length from Pete in the 4-star general of the Marine Corps, the commandant of the Marine Corps, and all these people, and I look and I have a number I don't know, but I'm watching it go to voicemail, and it's like, hey, this is your neighbor. There's 2 people just busting out all your windows, and I called the cops, and they're not coming. And I'm sitting here like, wait, the only windows we have left are the stained glass. They haven't been touched since 2017, and now all of a sudden we purchased the building, and they're busting these things out. It just, my heart sank when that happened. It was, yeah.
In hindsight, for some reason, it had to happen.
It did.
And I don't know what the reason is. I don't know anything about it. But I reached out. It was something like we were missing each other on that one. But I was like, I'd love to go help clean up the glass and all that. And y'all, by the time we started talking about it, it was done.
Yep.
But yeah, I hate that. But I also, it's a testament, just like losing the church the first time. Sometimes things just have to happen.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, there's a group called Power Remodel. Hope I'm saying their name right because they came in big. They saw the same video and they said, hey, we're talking to my CEO. I think we're going to be able to replace all your windows. Not the stained glass, but every other window. We had about 30 windows that we were going to have to drop $30,000-$40,000 on just to get that. And then a company, when we're talking about the roof too, because there's so many issues in here, Trident Roofing is like, I'll just give you a free roof. Like currently, Trident Roofing is putting on a free flat roof on our building right now because they see what we're doing and they saw the same video. And it's been a godsend to have some of these people come into our lives when we do it. So when the tragedy happened and it's going through and I'm making that video and I was so mad, there's a little part of me that was like, I hope someone will see this and know that we're battling to keep this and something would come. And it delivered again. It's been absolutely amazing to see people come out of their wheelhouse and just be like, oh, sweet, we do this, we can help them. Because we still need a lot. We need electrical conduit. We need new HVACs. If anybody knows anybody in the HVAC place.
We can figure it out. What do you want, air conditioning?
Yeah, we do. There's none working. So
you need a baptism?
Yeah. We have a baptismal in there.
I'm sure you
do.
And
I don't want to keep it.
Turn it into a hot tub.
Yeah, but the auditorium will have it.
You can't do. Yeah, you'll get the hell.
It'll be an
tub.
ice bath.
Yeah, you can't turn that into a hot tub.
Or you just say, hey, you think you know how hot hell is? Hop in there and you get in that and get out. You're going to save lives and souls.
It's your choice.
Well, and you obviously do that when someone walks in. You just go, well. I don't know. I feel like that's the way that should go. Don't you
Anyway,
think?
is it above? Is it like in the back and above,
still
or is
loving
it
those.
down in front? Where is it?
So when you walk in, you can't actually see it. You see this mural that's set back on the stage, but you don't know until you go to the third floor and walk down that you're actually, if you walk down into that, that's where the baptismal is. So everyone could see it from the crowd, but you have to go up to the third story and come down. So you can't tell it's there until you.
Have you been
go upstairs.
baptized?
I have. Well, I was Methodist growing up, and so they did where they flick the water in my face.
Sprinkle. Yeah.
So that's how I was baptized. I went through the thing you have to go through high school, and then you get baptized through that.
Confirmation.
Confirmation. Yep.
So you did. So have you been fully immersed? Oh, you haven't. Well, I tell you. So I grew up in Cookeville, Tennessee, and we didn't have a baptism. It was a country church, so they just do it at the creek. Like they would go down to the creek, and everyone would show up on the banks and sing, just like a movie, like straight up like a movie, and do it. I had it. Mine was in in a church.
Mine was in a church too. And you had to go and do the same thing. Go up and then walk through, and it's just like it was terrifying.
Oh yeah.
I was standing backstage, and you're like, oh, this is like a cool little area no one's ever seen before. And you're like waiting, and there's like some old dude in front of you, and there's like some other kid behind you, and I was still a fat kid. I was a fat kid then. Get up, and my shirt just sucks to me, and I'm sticking up. I look like. Here I am. Hey, don't look at my boobs. But I love Jesus, and
Same.
but
He loves you.
I did all that for Jesus.
All right. So again, if people want to check into the bowling, they can do that. That is again at creativevets.org. They can also, if they want to, if there's something they can offer. Something like with HVAC and whatever, all the other stuff.
If you're blue collaring it and you can help out these guys, reach
you
out
need
to
help
them.
with lighting. I know a lighting guy or whatever it may be. I mean, there's a lot of things.
You could have somebody who's like retired from it, and they're like, "Hey, I can, I got a lot of skill set. Let me donate what I know how to do." And
and a lot of it's more product than people, because we actually have such a good base of people who are like electricians who want to help. It's mainly the products itself. So we need
you need an air conditioner,
5 actual, I forget what they call them, 5 tons or half tons, whatever units for HVAC to be fully replaced. Because when they came in, when I say it's like the homeless population who came in, and they tore out every piece of wire that was in there, and they tore out anywhere there would be copper, and they tore out every single HVAC base.
How many are there? 5?
So there should be 5. I think there's 5 in the building. It's a big building. There's 35 rooms, but we'll have 5 recording. We'll have 5 writers' rooms. We'll have a ceramic studio. We'll have a wood shop. We'll have just a sewing area. We'll have a print lab. It's going to be an amazing place.
What does one of those air conditioners cost to replace? Just one? Do you have an idea?
I don't. We've been more looking for the free ones. So I just go straight to them. I do have a general contractor who's been helping. He's been doing it pro bono. He's setting up what the actual purchase price. It looked like it was going to be around $350,000 to replace every unit there. So I know the cash value of all of them together.
Wow.
With maintenance, them going up there and actually replacing them, it was going to be like $350,000. And then plumbing was going to be like $280,000 because there's multiple bathrooms that don't have anything running to them, and they busted out some of the porcelain in there. So fixtures, all these things. We're pretty much starting from scratch. Yeah. We raised just enough money to purchase this building, and so this could be the official launch to our capital campaign to raise another $2 million to actually outfit it, so we could be in there by next November, running programs, running concerts.
So are you filming all this?
We're filming different portions of it. We haven't been able to do a ton besides pretty much do demolition day and sand down the floor, because we're waiting to get we still had to do a little bridge loan to pay it off, because some of the money that was guaranteed to us wasn't coming until December. So we can't do full-on construction until then. Okay. So we've been doing little bits and pieces, but we've been trying to film every process. And honestly, people should go to our Instagram or even TikTok and look, because that's where we usually will do the funny videos of us doing it, or more informational.
Yeah, because if someone doesn't, if they don't know about it, and then they comes across their algorithm on TikTok or whatever, and they'd be kind of like what you guys are saying with the windows being, it got emotion, and people are like, oh, what is going on? How can I help? I don't know.
Well, I do want to mention this again, because I think it's really important. Because I remember I was always I will never go to therapy. I'm a dude, that kind of thing. When I went through my divorce, I had to. And I know it's not the same, but if you've served in a combat zone and you're dealing with things and you're afraid to reach out to anybody, I'm not going to go to therapy. I'm too this, I'm too that. reach out to Creative Vets. Go onto their website. Just look through the stuff and kind of explore the programs and the things that they offer, because you never know. I mean, there's people. This is going to sound crazy. Whatever you're going through, somebody else has already been through.
Yeah, I could attest to that. The amount of stories that we've written with people. We just had a World War II veteran come who was in Normandy. He was in the Battle of the Bulge and he freed a concentration camp on one time over there.
It's almost like the Band of Brothers story.
So we flew him up and we recorded a song and it was phenomenal. The opera actually had him come talk for a minute on stage. It was a great moment. But the stories that he told, and the stories were, I mean, straight up abuse. And I've heard war crimes. I've heard stories of, it's the most insane stories ever that we're able to capture. And then we released some of them. So we've released roughly like 60 songs, I think, and we've had over 20 million streams of our music. The coolest thing is I received a letter from a penitentiary saying, I found your music on this old iPad they gave us, and it saved me from wanting to take my own life. And then I had a Vietnam veteran hit up us on Facebook. He said, Charlie effing Mike, but he didn't say effing. Yeah. Charlie effing Mike, I just discovered your music. It's helped my PTSD so much, 18 years, blah, blah, Vietnam veteran. I'm sitting here thinking, wow, just by veterans listening to our music, they could feel more connected and more grounded, and it could heal them.
That's right. It's a good thing that you did that prescription.
Yeah, well, that's where the idea. The full circle. Let's go all the way back to 2014 when I was first on your show. The first letter we ever got was a lady who said, and I still have this email. She said, I was driving down the road and I heard the song "They Call Me Doc" on the Big D and Bubba, and I pulled over and I started bawling because my husband's a Marine and he suffers from PTSD. But he doesn't suffer from it. Like he's saying he doesn't. He won't go to the VA.
He lives with it.
So I went to your website. At the time, we only had 2 songs up. It was that song and a song called War and Peace, written by Lance Carpenter and Chris Ferrara. And she said, I played both of those songs for him, and he told me things about what he went through in war for the first time. Thank you. You helped save our marriage. Keep writing music.
Wow.
And that's where that first idea for Creative Vets RX came, was if we can help her marriage with her husband and understand that music can do more.
Wow.
So what if somebody's looking to reach out to you to be eligible to work with you guys? What are the prerequisites?
So that's important because we do have our major, what I call tier 1 programs, is where we're covering everything, flight, food, housing, to Nashville, LA, New York for the writing programs, because we partner with Warner to do writes in LA too. If they like pop, hip hop, other rock, we go to LA now. Those are combat disabled veterans. And when I say combat, it doesn't mean you have to have a combat job. If you were over there doing mortuary affairs, or you were on a convoy, even if you're an admin and your truck got blown up, like just if you were in a place where you saw combat, you qualify for our major programs, because we could identify what that combat trauma was and we could return it. Everything under that, which is basic guitar lessons, piano lessons, if you want to learn that, those are open to any veteran who's seeking help through music. We have a bunch of programs, so when you do contact us, we'll give you a list of some of the stuff that we're doing, and if we can't help you right now, there's other nonprofits that kind of do similar. But yeah, top tier is mainly combat veterans, and we do want to stress that if you already are writing music, we actually don't usually allow you to come to our music program. We want crazy theory, but if it's not helping your PTSD, or in goal is to end veteran suicide through arts and music. So if you've been writing music your whole life and you apply for a music program, I'm going to send you to my art program, because I want you to learn a new skill set that will ultimately change your life. And we've seen that. We had a Vietnam veteran who signed up for a writing program, and he's like, I write songs. I said, well, then you're coming to my art program in Chicago. And he went to the art program in Chicago, and it completely changed and saved his life. And now he's full-on ceramicist down in California, still killing it today. That was 2015 when he went through that program. And so it's really to push them to a new skill set, to teach them how to heal.
Yeah, if they reach out to you because they're already writing songs, they're not going to gain as much from it.
And it's hard to tell them no, too, because they're like, well, I served too, and I'm a combat veteran. I'm like, but the whole idea isn't to boost your career, which in the future, though, we will be giving more veterans opportunities and active duty in these areas. I was able to get Scotty Hastings to open up for Dave Grohl. So there are opportunities where we will get that come to us that we can help, but that's not a full program yet. We will build that out in the future, but for now, our whole goal is to end veteran suicide.
All right, creativevets.org, creativets.org. I had to spell it again to myself, so
Good to see you, man.
Oh, it's great to see you.
It's been a long time.
It's been too long.
Congrats on the church.
long.
I love that whole thing.
I know.
It's
I love
there,
this.
and there are so many stories inside that story that you guys would geek out about too, because it just shows God showed up and he's just like, this is yours. I was telling you it was yours this whole time, and it's still growing. And the lives that are going to be saved through that place is going to be incredible.
And you're really going to do 24 hours. So
yeah, that
people are
probably
gonna
won't be
have a-
till like maybe the 4th year in when we build it out the right way. But the back end is going to be, and fingers crossed. So Craig Campbell wants to put his Grindstone Cowboy in the basement. So we have a coffee shop. I'm saying it on air so that he does it. No, he wants to. He really wants to. He needs to make sure it financially works out. But we would love to have him there because we want a coffee food place where people can come, and it's like a mini Ryman upstairs. We still have the pews. We're restaying the pews, and we're going to have writers' rounds, art gallery, all the things. So the front end will be for the community. The back end will be the 24-hour art and music center for veterans.
Well, whenever
Keep
you
it
do the
up.
grand opening, we're there.
Heck yeah.
Just telling you right now. Let
Can we
us
sing?
know.
We want to sing now.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Baba is a great singer.
I am
Baba,
the
sing the
best
songs you
singer.
love so much.
Feelings, nothing more than feelings.
I do know another.
Morgan Whalen.
There he is. Sing along to this song.
This was the podcast, but now it's over. But that's okay, because you can listen to the regular show on the radio every day.
It was the Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
Come on.
The Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast. The Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
The Big D and Bubba Weekly Podcast.
Morgan Whalen.